So, do you guys remember, like, when you were younger and you'd be sitting at the table for breakfast, eating oatmeal, or I really ate grits, and we'd be listening to, like, the radio.
What was playing?
Gladys Knight.
Right.
The Spinners, the Bee Gees, James Taylor.
OJ's.
Right, exactly.
I feel like for me and mine, it'd probably be something like Usher or Leah, Biggie Smalls, R.I.P.
Right, definitely. So these are the songs that bring us right back to our childhood.
Yes.
And these are what we like to call oatmeal songs.
Yep.
Okay, so we're talking about oatmeal songs, right? And basically how oatmeal songs came about. I don't know. It was just a situation of me being into music and everything, thinking about when I was a kid, and I like to go back and reminisce or whatever. And these were songs that made me think of growing up. I can remember vividly sitting at the table, in the morning, radio playing, and certain songs that I hear now bring me back to those times.
Right.
Yeah.
And we were eating oatmeal, or as Verdel said, I ate porridge. My father being from Jamaica, but we ate oatmeal too. But and that's where the oatmeal songs came about. It's just songs that you hear that's like, oh man, it takes me back to my childhood, makes me think of and it's gonna be different for everybody.
Right.
Yeah, because everyone grew up in different eras and stuff like that.
Exactly. I think for me, when we're talking about oatmeal songs, for me, it's not necessarily. I mean, when we're listening to the radio and things like that, when in the morning we would listen to get ready for school, what have you, and we listen to the radio. But it also reminds me of a time when I would spend at my grandparents' house.
Oh, no doubt.
Okay, yeah.
And on Sundays, everybody would be over my grandmother's house. We'd have Sunday dinners, and they would play cards and things like that.
Right.
And it was that
Talking
music,
junk.
right? Talking junk. It would be that music in the background.
Right.
That kind of is the oatmeal song for me.
Right.
Or
That's
my
true.
mom sitting. My mother loved music. Also. She had a lot of albums, and just the albums that she had in her collection, she would always play them, and it would just be throughout the day, evening, or whatever time it was.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good point. Just real quick before y'all jump in. That's a good point because it's not just, now that you say that, it's not just breakfast in the morning and the radio. It's songs like my mom on Sunday mornings, she used to clean.
Right.
I was just about to say, there's some cleaning going on.
Yeah. So vacuuming, right away I go to Al Green.
Right.
When she's cleaning on Sunday mornings or barbecues or family outings, the songs that play, because I know that's big for you guys.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
The barbecues and family,
Oh
functions.
yeah, the big functions. Those are a lot of the majority of where I heard, the oatmeal songs that we listen to.
A lot of those older songs that you guys kind of just love playing sort of on repeat.
Like you said, the Mary J. Blige's. And
Exactly. For me, it's also kind of like, in terms of going back to childhood, there's songs associated with certain things that I'd probably be watching, right? That, if I was, again, sort of like eating cereal or whatever, and I would be watching a show, and maybe the show would bring up this song in some capacity, and it's like, oh, that song around this time, and that just, and when you listen to it again, it immediately brings you back, like, oh snap, I remember X, Y, and Z.
Those senses kind of come back together. The taste, the sense of hearing, even smells or certain smells. The smell of the vacuum cleaner on the floor.
You smell the Mr. Clean or the Lysol.
I remember going through a mall one day, and this is maybe like 10 years ago or something like that. And one of those oatmeal songs was playing on the radio, and it immediately flashed me back to like just me being young at that time, just like doing a bunch of stuff, and it was like, yeah.
What'd you pull? That's So Raven? Like,
Had the look,
took you back.
had the Ratatouille moment.
Exactly. Right. That's true. It's so. I love the way music does that.
Oh, without a doubt.
It just transplants you into that time, especially if you haven't heard the song in such a long
while,
time.
Right.
And that song just like it hits you.
That's the best.
Right?
I haven't heard this one in a minute.
I love that. Oh my goodness.
I love that. And music has that feel.
Right, that ability.
Yeah, and it's just. I don't know. It makes you feel a certain way. Right. It can make you sad.
It can make you sad. It can make you happy.
It can do that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can make you feel a certain way.
What are some so people get some context about what we're talking about here,
right?
In relation to, because our oatmeal songs are going to be different than you and you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Songs.
Yeah.
So what are some oatmeal songs?
Oh man,
for you,
for us, so
I guess,
actually, just now that you meant what you said, just kind of sparked a memory of what I just reminded you. So, the movie that we used to watch, me, you, and our cousin Robbie, Goofy movie.
Oh yeah.
And I saw something that somebody posted on Twitter, and it was a music video that played at the beginning of the movie. And I saw it. I clicked on it. It took me to YouTube, and it showed me the music video. And I heard the song. I was like,
"Yo, And we talked. Yeah, you showed me that one day,
and it was like, you,
and I was like, "Oh shoot!"
I was like, "Yo, I haven't seen this since we watched this movie on VHS." I'm like, "Wow!"
With the changing backgrounds and all that stuff. What was that? It was like turn it around. Yeah, that was Dr. Donnie's remedy. That was
you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, man, yo.
Took you there.
Took us right back to watching.
So my question is, did you cry?
I teared up a little bit. I did. I was like, oh man, I gotta send this to Robbie. Like, I was like, oh my god, because we used to watch that movie all the time. So that song just took us right back.
Oh yeah, Goofy movie. Yeah,
it's
that's
true.
just
it's
always.
So true.
And sort of in that same vein of like just like having like certain songs taking you back to like maybe like a particular thing or a movie or anything like that.
Right.
Like I was a big Digimon fan, right? And in the Digimon movie, they had this one song that would play, and there was in a bunch of, I think it was in a couple of other movies too.
Okay.
And it was what was it? Is it the Bare Naked Ladies, the band? But or I hope I'm not misremembering that right. But the song was 1 week.
Okay.
And that was kind of just one of those like late 90s, early 2000s songs that always flashes me back to watching that show or just sort of like being young.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
and it's
I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it.
Awesome.
It's cool because it doesn't even have, like listening to you guys, it doesn't even have to be a situation of, I guess you can pertain it or place it to whatever you want. So say like Oatmeal Songs, we were saying like when we were kids.
Yeah.
So listening to you guys talk about the Goofy movie, right? If I heard Eye to Eye right now, that would take me back.
I might lose it.
Right. That would take me back to when you guys were kids. Looking at y'all, looking at the movie.
Absolutely,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's a whole other situation.
Whole
right.
Yeah, it's a whole other thing. It doesn't have to be when we were kids.
Because we're living through our, our child's experience.
So like you guys' Oatmeal Songs, like the Puffies,
it's still nostalgic.
It's nostalgic to even us.
Right.
Takes us back to living in CI 514, which is a whole other thing.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
It feels like a different life.
Yeah, those songs from that time. You know,
what would you say for you is your oatmeal songs? That
as a kid?
Yeah, as a kid.
Oh, you got to take it to like WABC, like the James, like you said, the old OJ. Of course, the class OJ's, Gladys Knight.
Word, yeah.
But also too, like the James Taylors.
Yes.
The Rod Stewarts. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Not Foreigner. What's Stevie Nicks?
Oh yeah, right.
You know,
Meatloaf and all that.
Meatloaf. All that stuff brings me back to when I was a kid because we listened to all that on WABC.
Right. Exactly.
You know.
So when we were coming up, the music that we listened to on the radio was all types of music. They weren't really stations
when we were younger
that were urban or just R&B for the most part.
Right. There was no Hot 97. They played everything. They played
pop.
They played soft rock. They played pop. They played
R&B.
R&B.
It was a combination
of
everything.
The combination of
That's
everything.
cool.
So that's why we were. That's why we heard so many different songs.
Exposed to a lot of different style genres and stuff. That's really cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So those songs definitely bring me back, and the Spinners, and even like George Benson. Yeah, songs like that. My mom listened to a lot of jazz, so if there's some jazz that I hear, it brings me back.
What's your father's boy? We're coming to America.
Exactly.
Yeah,
oh my goodness, I can't think of his name
I'm
right
blanking
now.
out on his
name.
Today. Neil Diamond. You
right,
know, all that stuff.
Right, all that stuff.
We listen to it all.
No, what's cool?
Captain and Tennille.
And what's cool about like that kind of stuff, right? And you know one of my favorite movies is Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yes.
And the whole concept of that movie is basically what we're talking about, oatmeal songs.
Right.
Because a lot of the songs in that movie, James Gunn grew up with.
Right, exactly.
And that's the whole central character of, like, Star-Lord is listening to that stuff.
Right, and it was his mother's
his mother's
cassette.
cassette.
It was what hit right.
Yeah. So it's just cool how, like, you guys, how we're all kind of, like, saying, like, music connects us back to those times, but it also connects us to, like, our family members. Like, our Oatmeal Songs connects us to y'all, you know, as far as, like, you know, like
It's true.
thinking back on certain things.
Right.
It's
Oh,
crazy.
please, Mom. When she one Oatmeal Song, "Do Up That Thing" by Lauryn Hill.
Right.
You used to run that album to the ground.
Yeah.
And that, in turn, those became my Oatmeal songs. So what your parents listen to, definitely, I mean,
Alicia Keys.
Alicia Keys.
Yeah.
Goes into
That's the dominating factor. I
Right,
believe,
right.
You know?
So we actually created a playlist
Right.
that you can check out on YouTube,
Yes.
and it has all of our Oatmeal songs. So it's very eclectic.
Well, not all, some of them.
All right, okay, some.
I was gonna say, we have a
Right.
bunch.
We have
Okay,
there's
it
a lot
has
more,
some.
but it has a bunch of
It
them.
has some of our Oatmeal songs, and like I said, it is very eclectic.
Very eclectic.
So we want to continue this conversation and hear about what your Oatmeal songs might be.
Yes, definitely. Tell us some of your Oatmeal songs. We have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
So you should probably subscribe to that YouTube channel.
Yep.
Also comment on the video just to, you know, keep the conversation going.
Yep.
Like the video. Also hit the notification bell
Ding, ding.
so you get notified whenever we put out new videos.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
We want to thank you so much for watching Let's Kick It with the Joneses, and we will see you next time.
Check out that playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire, fire. Hot fire.
Fire.